Here is another.
Most biblical scholars now agree that the first of the Gospels
Hey, look at this one.
was the Gospel of Mark
Okay.
in approximately 70 AD.
Look at this.
For this reason, it is considered highly unlikely, if not impossible, that any of them were
actual first-hand accounts. Okay, watch what these guys
So
say.
we have 4 Gospels written by 4 different authors, decades, maybe as long as a century.
Listen, this is Kanda Moss. She has a PhD from the University of Notre Dame. And look what she says. Decades, maybe as long as a century after he died.
He died. And none of these authors actually met Jesus.
And none of these authors actually met Jesus. Matthew, who's the tax collector. Mark, who was with Peter. Mark, Luke. Okay, maybe Luke, no. But John, who says this is a first-hand account. Where did these people get their PhD from? Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness.
The people are put the New Testament together. In fact,
It's-
Christianity for 300 years.
This is Elaine Pagels. She's a, professor of religion. Princeton University. We don't know who put the...
We have a New Testament.
But if, as most Bible scholars and theologians believe, the accounts of Jesus' life weren't written by people.
Oh my goodness. Who are most biblical scholars? What scholars are they talking about? Biblical scholars who are in the mosque? Biblical scholars who are... What are they talking about? Who actually... Oh my
If
goodness.
they knew him, then who were the authors? And why did they give credit to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John?
Because it says this is the gospel.
But if I put I Paul, or I Peter, or I Moses, if I put it into the name of someone who has authority, then whatever I'm saying will be taken more seriously.
Okay, let's talk about that. I mean, okay, he's got a point there, but why would you use Mark or Luke? Mark and Luke aren't even a known people. John and Matthew being the tax collector of Jesus, John being the one who sat next, but who's Mark and Luke? Why use Mark or Luke? It would be ridiculous to say, oh, we're going to put people names that are on there. Mark and Luke are not even anywhere when it comes down to the stories of Jesus. But yet, there's a Gospel of Mark and there's a Gospel of Luke. So that argument is thrown out the window. This guy and these people are false teachers. This is the false religion that is being taught. Be careful, folks. Be careful.
Scholars are reluctant to call these books forgeries, and so they call them pseudepigrapha because nobody knows what pseudepigrapha means. Pseudepigrapha is a word that literally means
This guy's a false teacher.
Described with a lie, because the author's lying about his own identity. These authors had a goal in mind. They had an agenda, and they included the stories that met that agenda.
All right, so let me get what the agenda is. The agenda was to stir up the Roman government to go crucify them and kill them. It was not popular to preach the gospel. It was not popular to write a book that talked about Jesus Christ being the King of the Jews, let alone to rebel against the Roman government and serve one true God. And yet these guys had an agenda. What was the agenda? To glorify Jesus Christ and to stir up a hornet's nest? This got a big problem. Big problems.
In Palestine, Jews and early Christians were living under Roman occupation. And those who followed the teachings of Jesus were often put to death.
Okay, so what's the agenda there, buddy?
But even though he was believed by his followers to be the one true Messiah, the Savior whose coming had been foretold in the Hebrew Testaments, the oldest known accounts of Jesus' life were not written in Aramaic, the language he spoke, or Hebrew, but in Greek.
Okay, so what?
Greek was the lingua franca of the Roman Empire, and it was certainly the most common language of the Roman elite.
They're going to get more money to support
This
their mission
makes
activities
absolutely
by
no
writing
relevance.
and spreading the word in Greek. They're not interested particularly in how many Jewish people they have in their movement. They want Romans with money.
In 313 AD, Emperor Constantine I ended.
Anyway, this is, see, they went from this is an agenda, and they don't even come up with the agenda or what the reason of the agenda is, but rather just to say what they want to say. The fact is, they made it very clear, being a Christian was not a popular thing, let alone to be popular, to write the gospel and put fake names. Come on already. There is a big, big problem with this false teaching. Bible Secrets Revealed. Don't believe this garbage.